Alrighty, so today we're just going to do a quick video on the fuel. Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera to balance here on this box. On the M923A1 military style fuel canister. These are what come on the truck from AM General. And these are what 99% of people replace with the dual or single filter spin-on kit. There's a million options out there today. We're working on a fire truck apparatus, one of these, it's a brush truck. On ours, we've already done the video. We did the Ken dual fuel filter kit, so go check out that video. I highly suggest you upgrade to that based on the price of these military filters alone, and then the difficulty of getting them these days. They're getting harder and harder, and then just the increased protection and dual filter option you have there if you do the dual kit like we did from Ken, which does the fuel filter and also the water separator. So this is the military kit. This is what they look like inside if you've never seen one. I'm gonna pick the camera up here real quick, see if I can get the focus. This is what it looks like inside. Be careful depending on who made yours. If you see those little bubbles down at the bottom, those are actually really crappy weld joints, and that was actually really sharp. You can cut yourself on that if yours are sharp, so just be careful. This is cleaned up now, so I cleaned this up. It'll be full of gunk, it'll be nasty, especially down in that very bottom valley. Do your best to clean it out. Mine took probably about 3 days to clean out. I let like a chemical sit in there for rust. That knocked that out. I let it sit overnight with a degreaser in it, and that really knocked a lot of the gunk out of it. So yeah, just do both of them. I scrubbed it with a hard bristle brush that I had, knocked out most of it, rinsed it out with hot water, and just continued to, scrub away at it. Once you're done cleaning it, and if you're going to let it sit for any period of time, even an hour or two, I would spray some WD-40 or some fluid film or something in there and just gently wipe it around. Let it get into those pitting crevices and stuff like that, because the thing will flash rust almost instantaneously. As soon as you're done drying it off, you'll notice it start to turn orange and flash rust. So if you treat it with the oil like that, it knocks it down. So here's a military filter kit then. This was almost $90. That's pretty crazy for a fuel filter when you can get a Napa filter for probably $18, $25. So I get the upgrade kit is a little bit of an upfront expense, but again, you're going from a single filter to a dual filter kit if you do the Ken's kit like we have the video on. And again, then in the long run, the maintenance of changing these filters out is one, a lot easier, because you can just untwist the filter, right? You don't have to take this whole thing apart. And two, the cost of the filters is a lot cheaper. So, but anyway, so this is the way it shows up. This is the kit you get. It's in the bag. You do get a little O-ring on top. Here's the old one. This slides down this tube. So this slides down this tube on the outside. This is the old one, so I'll put it on there. And it goes all the way down and sits down there like that. So you get a new one of them. And then you get a new large O-ring. And this actually goes on this lip. But it actually goes, the easiest way to do it is to put it up in the housing of the filter. So let me walk out there real quick and I'll splice that in and show you. Okay, so we're out of the truck now. Show you where this other gasket goes on the top piece. So let's get under here, under the intake. So here's the top part of your canister fuel filter. So you're gonna set the gasket up in this crevice here. Goes up in here around the outside. So with all your rubber O-rings like usual, we're using the O-ring grease again. So put some on this, but put a little more on this, be a little more liberal with it on this. And that way it'll stick up there, because otherwise it's almost impossible to get it on otherwise. So get it to stick up there and kind of sit where it needs to be. And then on this guy, the filter's in the canister, and then I also pre-filled the canister about 3/4 of the way, and I let the filter sit in there for probably about the last 10-15 minutes to soak up the fuel, soak up the diesel fuel. So pre-fill your canister, let your filter soak up the fuel so it's not a dry filter, and then we're gonna have to prime the fuel system anyway when we get to that point. But this is how this goes back together, so let me get this guy stuck up there and get all this back together. Okay, and there you go. Fuel canisters back together, all tightened up there. Tightens with that screw on top. It is a 3/4 inch ratchet. I used a 1/2 inch drive to get enough leverage, and you get it pretty tight. Again, no air impact, no crazy tools, but definitely get it tight and then give it a couple ohms. When you get it up there, so depending on if you have help or not, but I just use one hand to hold the canister up there, and then you can thread this by hand in the beginning, and then it'll get tight and you'll have to put the ratchet on it. But once you get this up to the top, it'll have like a little gap. Just make sure your O-ring is laying flat still and not going to get crushed or push out on one side and then get cut. Because it's like a flat, like a square type O-ring. It's not a round O-ring, so it does sit in that channel properly and get compressed like this, right on top of each other. So it's square and then square on the sides. So as you get up just real close, just make sure it's all sitting in there nice and doesn't get actually here's a little bit of the grease I put on it, squirted out, right? So you can see, and that worked out perfectly. As soon as I put some of the extra super lube on it, it's stuck right up there. I just followed it around and it stayed right in place so I could get the canister up there. But yep, that's your military style fuel filter. If you're still dealing with that, or if your budget's tight and you're not going to convert right away, but you want to at least get a new fuel filter in, there you go. But like I said in the beginning, I would always highly recommend that as soon as you can, upgrade to the dual kit. And if you want to make your life easy, I liked it when I did it, just use Ken's kit. There is a video on our page of us installing that kit and what's involved, and I actually made that video fairly lengthy on purpose to be very detailed and provide as much insight as I could. So hope this helps. See you.